Welcome back to Teaching Them. I'm Michael Keats, and I'm going to bring you a lesson today called Finding God's Path. Finding God's Path. So the main purpose of this lesson is to teach kids that it's good to ask advice from godly people, to have godly friends who can give you advice as you're trying to figure out what God's path is for your life. And I have a game board that I've created. You can create something similar. I've actually also run this where I just taped off a bunch of squares on the floor and then put these little signs inside of them. And so you can do it a couple of different ways, but experiment and find out what works for you. So the way that the game works is the kids will come in and they will choose a space to go from, and they want to go from the bottom to the top. And so the top is where you win and you've accomplished all that God wanted for your life. Each row is numbered off, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In the version that I have on my website, there are actually 20 levels for them to get, but this is an abbreviated version. There are 5 columns, A, B, C, D, and E. And so you would invite the kids up and you say, okay, let's pretend this is your life. And let's say that you want to take a step and you need to make a decision about which way to go. Which way do you go? You could choose on your own, or you could ask some godly friends. And for this, I encourage you to have some adults or even some kid volunteers that have the answer keys. So in the set that I have on my website, there are 4 answer keys. There's godly friend number 1, godly friend number 2, 3, and 4. And so if you don't have enough volunteers, what I do sometimes is give 2 to a person. And I'll say, this is what you know about this person's choices and where they should go. Now, not all the choices that all the advice that they give is going to be good advice. Some of the answers are intentionally wrong because sometimes people give us bad advice and they don't steer us in the right direction. Even godly friends sometimes give bad advice. And then sometimes they just don't know. They have a blank. There's nothing on their sheet. So you can kind of see some of the rows are empty and they don't know what the person's supposed to do. So they would have to say, I really don't know what you should do. But we encourage them before they take a turn to ask their godly friends, so what should I do? And they'll say, I think you should do 1B. And another friend might say, well, I really think you should do 1C. And then they have to decide, 1B or 1C. Many times the godly friends will agree. Sometimes they disagree. Sometimes nobody knows. So they would say, okay, I think I should do 1B. So then they would pull the card and flip it, and oh no, that's sin. You lose a turn. So you got to go to the back and let the next person come up and try. And the next person says, oh, I think I should do 1D. So we're going to pull that one out. And you say, congratulations, God's path for you. That is God's best for you right there. You get to take another turn. And they say, okay, what should I do? And the godly friends say, well, we really think you should do 2B. So they take 2B and they get not God's best for you. So it's good, it's okay, but God actually had something even greater in store for you if you would have waited or if you would have sought more advice. You might have found that out, but that wasn't God's best for you. And so you'd lose a turn after that. It's okay, but you didn't sin, but you definitely didn't do as well as you could have done. So the next person comes up and they say, well, godly friends, what should I do? Godly friends say, we think you should do 2D. So they do 2D. They say, great, that was God's path for me, fantastic. They get to go again if they got the right answer. So then they say, godly friends, I don't know, what should I do here on row 3? And they say, we think you should do 3B. So they go to 3B. Well, it's not terrible, but it wasn't God's best for you. So then the next person gets a turn and they say, well, what should I do? I think you should do 3C. Aha, there's God's path. So this continues on until you get to the end. But basically what you're trying to do is teach them the value of godly counsel. There's a good scripture that goes along with this. It's from Proverbs 15:22. Plans go wrong for lack of advice. Many advisors bring success. Plans go wrong for lack of advice. Many advisors bring success. So that is to teach them that ask for help when you have to make a decision. Get other people, godly people, people who love Jesus, to give you advice about stuff, and then trust them. And then there's some discussion questions at the end of the lesson. It talks about, well, what about when your godly friends give you bad advice or not the best advice, and it doesn't lead to God's path for you? Well, that's okay. So you learn to discern. You teach yourself how to listen for God through godly friends, through Scripture, through circumstances. There are multiple ways, but you have to weigh all of them through prayer. You have to weigh all of them in order to know God's path for your life. So that's a good way to teach kids in a fun kind of game way about how to figure out God's path. Hope you'll try the lesson. You can print it out at www.teachingthem.org, and it comes with the lesson script. Also comes with all the answer keys that are here, plus a master answer key that shows where the correct answers are all the way through. And so I hope you'll use it and enjoy it. I'll see you next time.